Art direction and world building is one of the most important things inside of Call of Duty Zombies. And although the last few years have been a little touch and go when it comes to this subject, it seems like with Black Ops 7 things are taking a wild turn and only for the better. Which is why today I brought on my good friend Beware the Six to really hone in on why art direction and world building is so special. I just want to know a little bit about you, man. I've obviously seen your content. I started seeing it around BO6, I think. Maybe it was like a little bit before launch.
Yeah. So it was the start of BO6 when I really started doing like what I do now. I had done zombies videos in the past. I want to say I did a couple maybe at the end of Black Ops 2's life cycle, getting into Black Ops 3 with the trailers. And then I think I did a little bit, like 1 or 2 videos for COD World War II. I know I did a speculation on like Black Ops 4. But I kind of like hopped in, hopped out real quick, got like 20 views on a video, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But really, at the start, I would say it's end of last August is when I really started to kick things off and like really want to put through a like creative direction and like try and be like a zombies YouTuber, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was,
it's clear that you have like a experience with production.
Thank you.
Like, I don't know what exactly that is, but you try to go over the top with like effects and the overlays, and you try to make it really thematically look like it's zombies. I do have a couple questions if you would humor me.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Do you have boards over your window? Like real boards? Because that has to be real. Okay.
Yes, that is. In fact, hold up. I'll grab them right now. These right here.
Yeah, I knew those had to be real. I was like, everything else looks like, it may be like effects, but there's boards, and then like, of course, though, you have some like wonder weapons and stuff. But
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, the boards I actually made. I want to say because this is actually my second pair. Like I had a first pair that I used. I want to say a few years back, and I just made them for fun. But then I'm like, you know what? This would actually look like really cool and like a zombie setup. So I constructed these based off of the original Nocturne Totem build, right? So as soon as you spawn in, you see the what do you call it? It's like kind of like a jail cell looking window. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that construction. So I think it's like 2, and then you kind of have one slanted. But I love the atmosphere. I love the zombies atmosphere, and I even think getting down to just the barriers, like there's a certain way it looks, and they've done it over the years, and I love that. So I had to make my own because unfortunately you cannot buy them like that.
Yeah, and it's like a little crooked, a little off center, kind of
exactly.
Janky.
Yeah.
The zombies vibe is just top. It's just top notch, dude. There's nothing like it.
I love it. There really isn't. Yeah.
So okay, so you have the practical kind of effects in the back, and then why did you want to start doing all the extra digital effects? Because I think I've even seen you have like smoke, maybe it was smoke on a gun, or like you have like a ray gun, like laser beam.
Yes.
I can't remember all of them, but you've done a lot of different ones.
Thanks. So yeah, I had actually gotten a couple of those from like, excuse me, a company that was like building prop replicas, and I'm like, hey, I do this like, zombies YouTube thing. I believe they actually found me, and they were like, hey, or I bought a ray gun Mark II actually, and then I made a video with some effects. Because I just kind of, I don't know, I've been doing that for years. I love building effects for like different things. And I started with just like a green circle, and then I'll like animate it. I'll make it move. I'll get some smoke, kind of put it in there. And then, after a few days, I'm just like, okay, well, now I have the complete effects for like a ray gun Mark II. So I could actually put that in my videos. And it's really funny because like I'm just sitting there like holding the gun like I'm shooting it, right? Like nothing's going on. But I'm actually able to kind of just sit on it like that one clip for like 15 minutes during the editing process, and just kind of put it in there and kind of give that. Because like I've always been a huge fan of the like old Call of Duty Zombies in real life videos. I don't know if you've seen any of those.
Yeah,
fantastic. Oh yeah, of course. I think there was one old one on like Kino der Toten by these one guys that just blew me away as a child. So I'm like, anything I can do to kind of like get remotely close to that. It wasn't like zombies all the time. Like I just enjoy editing or photography, videography. That's kind of what I do on the side. But I've always practiced and always done it with zombies, like on my own time. So I'm just like, you know what? I think And like same thing with the music. Like I make all the music for all of my videos. There are a bunch of Damned remakes, Lullaby of a Dead Man covers, like stuff like
Oh,
that.
I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that side of it a lot. So I'm like, you know what? I have all of these assets. I have a bunch of music, and like when I'm listening to it, like it makes me think of like what it would be like if I tried to do like a Zombies YouTube channel. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna see how it looks. And if you even see like some of my first videos back when I started, like they look a lot different, but the whole like premise and idea of what it is was there with like the game menu aesthetic and stuff like that. So it's coming out of a very interesting spot, I can tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, when I first saw your content, I kept thinking like, how long does this take you? Cause, I wasn't assuming you were building
Yeah.
everything every single time. Obviously that'd be ridiculous, but
Yeah.
you would like add new things. And I'm like, how long is this guy spending on like making a ray gun bullet or like smoke effects? Or now I'm learning you're doing music. Like how much time are you spending on doing this?
It's really just like, dog, like I just get in the zone, you know what I'm saying? Like the Zombies headspace, and I'm like, you know what? Like I love this song so much. I want to see if I can do it and then add some like things onto it. And like that I just do on my free time, but then I'm like, you know what? This fits perfectly in with Zombies and with the channel and everything. So I've just kind of come accustomed to that being a part of my life. Like I've always made music. They just so happen to always be like Damned or Lullaby of a Dead Man remixes. I just can't get out of those. I probably got like 10 Damned remixes at this point, and like round start themes for all the videos. They're like round based. So I've loved that. But yeah, it takes me quite a while. I would say for each video, I'm probably sitting on it. If I'm powering through, maybe 3 hours or like 2.5. Right up in there. But
that's not bad. That's not too bad.
It's not terrible, but like sometimes I may be editing 2 at a time or figure something out. Like, oh, I can make this look a lot better, so I might as well kind of hold this one and work on that for a little bit. But I've done, I think, over like 100, I want to say 110 long form videos in that style in the past year, which like I didn't even think I can do. Like that kind of makes me feel kind of cool. As you know, like the COD news cycle and like the whole, you know, it's hard to cling on to things. News is always changing. Like I had a video right now that I'm editing, speculating on DLC 1, which now I can't even release. And that's happened to me multiple times because now we have the news, obviously.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that too, because so I don't like, I'm just not in a place where I can make a video every day or every other day. So I'm in a similar boat as you in just terms of the practicality of it, where if news breaks, I'm not probably going to cover it for a little bit. So I'll kind of like aggregate a bunch of different things, but it does suck. Like part of the video I'm exporting right now is I was talking about like Treyarch maintaining. We'll put a little pin in this because I don't want to get into this quite yet. I have some other questions I want to ask about you. 100%. But I was speculating about DLC 1 a little bit too, and just saying like I don't know if they'll be able to keep it up. And then today they're like dropping new stuff, so now I'm like overlaying and adding like text things like, oh, I guess I'm wrong, or like what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you kind of trip over yourself a little bit if you're not quick, and that's why you got to find the sweet spot as a content creator of like being 100%. Fast and efficient. And I actually learned that from a product designer of all things. He was like, you have to get. He made like football helmets for the NFL and like parachutes for the Army, like all sorts of cool stuff. And he was like, you have to figure out a way to deliver to your clients, which in this case is our viewers, the pristine quality and at a rapid rate. And if you can master those two, he's like, you'll be unstoppable.
Yeah. That's always been kind of the way I wanted to go about it. Cause like there's been some videos where I'll release where it's like, there's a good amount of gameplay, but at the end of the day, I'm like, well, like, I really think there's a lot of people that come to my videos because it looks so different. And it's kind of Zombies, like inspired, like the whole thing, you know?
Well, it's your vibe.
But most definitely. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I will say I have one nitpick about it. All right.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Unless I've missed it, and you can tell me if I've missed it. I feel like when I when I'm watching and you drink the perks, or like, you know, the viewers
Yeah.
drinking the perk. I don't know who's drinking them.
Uh-huh.
Someone's drinking them.
Yeah.
Because like the perspective's from the viewer, but you're the one consuming it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Uh-huh.
I don't think the points go down.
The points do not. So what the points are is my subscriber count at the time of making that video.
I never noticed that. Okay. All right. Well, I'll take
I
the
know
L
a lot. No, you're all good. No, a lot of people have noticed that too. And I'll be honest with you, like I'll get tripped up sometimes. Maybe I leave out a couple subscribers. You know what I'm saying? But for the majority, like you can like so that way I can kind of go back and look at that video and be like, oh, like wow, okay, well this one did it, and then the next one did a lot better. It's kind of almost a visual representation for myself or for people.
Sure.
You know?
That's cool. Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Cause I guess I just thought it was like an arbitrary number. I've never really looked at the sub count and thought about it like that. Okay.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah.
Well, what's going to happen when you have like 200,000 subs and the number's just going to be like across the whole screen?
I don't know. Maybe I'll convert some of them to salvage or something. I don't know. We'll do a little math there.
Yeah. You're going to be a mathematician now. Sick.
Exactly. Oh God.
So
not my strongest suit.
So then you got into you started to make a YouTube channel. You're going above and beyond. Why did why does zombies inspire you so much? And like, when did you start playing? What game was your first one? What was your entry?
Yes.
Point?
So my first one that I've ever like played at a friend's house, I remember this often, was COD 4, right? So this is back like when the game released. It could have been COD 3, considering they were big COD fans, but I would have been too young to even remember. But World at War was the first one that I owned. And I think it took me a year after the game came out to finally beat the campaign and play zombies. So at that point, it really felt like a juiced reward, you know what I'm saying? And something that's very different. Yeah. But I think it's totally the aesthetic and the complete idea of just what that is. Like, I think, especially back then, I think now you cannot say the same. That's one of my like strong points. And that is that, you know, in World at War, it felt like it was so different than the rest of the game. You weren't seeing zombies in any other part of the game. You weren't seeing that completely different color palette and just, you know, sounds and all of that. I think, I don't know, for some reason, it just really stood out to me. And then, you know, there'll be points in my life where I don't really play zombies, you know, fun fact, and don't get on me for this, but the only Easter eggs I've done was Black Ops 6 because I had to do them for YouTube. Before that, I had done no Easter eggs, but it really just is the atmosphere. Like, I like to sit there and simmer for a while and really hear all the noises and do the Easter egg songs and just kind of appreciate that idea, the exaggeration of whatever area, you know, exists with zombies. And I attain that to a lot of stuff in real life too. Just throughout life, like if I'm going somewhere or I'm traveling somewhere that reminds me of a zombies map, in my earbuds, I will be playing the zombie map soundtrack or the round start themes or the game over songs. Or on guitar, I know like so many zombie songs and stuff. Like it's, I don't know. It's like, it's turning to a zombie, I guess is the long story short.
The atmosphere of zombies is just like we were saying before, it's just amazing. And there really isn't anything like it. I guess, okay, so you got in at World at War. You really appreciate that atmosphere. Did you play BO1, BO2, 3, even 4, like through their life cycle? Or are you going back to them now? Because you were saying you don't always play zombies. So what did you miss?
The first,
and all that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So as soon as, I think it was Black Ops 2, before it came out, I caught up. I bought all the DLC for Black Ops 1. I remember, God, trying to figure out how to get the DLC maps. I didn't know DLCs were a thing. I didn't know you can buy things on games like that. So I was doing 3 ARC unlocks so much on that little terminal just to get 5 and Dead Ops. And I'm like, why am I not getting these other maps? But no, then I had bought the DLC, played them all, fantastic. And then Black Ops 2 was my first like going through and anticipating DLC 1 or a Cowboy Zombies map in DLC 3. And I remember 4th grade lunch table, I called it Cowboy Zombies map for DLC 3, and I'll still stand die on that hill. All right. But yeah, and then Black Ops 3, I was just completely enthralled in that throughout its life cycle, and every single Call of Duty beyond. So every single COD I was there, every single update I was there. I remember my parents used to be able to let me stay home from school every time a trailer would drop because they know how much I anticipated just that coming out.
Yeah.
And like seeing what the song was that they used that year, or a bunch of those little details. But I would just sit and rewatch it 110 times and slow it down and go frame by frame. But I was doing like everything I think people do in the YouTube videos, but just not recording it.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, man. I've said this before, but I missed BO1 and BO2 during their life cycle. But I started at World at War, and then I jumped back in during BO3. And it's funny because whenever I was playing World at War back in the day, I always felt like I wanted more. Like I knew that I loved it, but I was like, I just feels like there needs to be another layer to all this.
Yeah.
And BO3 came out, and even though I wasn't part of the community or played BO1 or 2, I still felt like I was on that progression because I jumped into BO3 and I was like, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
I didn't know it, but that's what I wanted. And it's weird how it all kind of built upon itself leading to that pinnacle era. And I'm curious,
100%.
like, how do you feel now inside of, modern zombies? I feel like it's like a slur almost to say
I
that.
know, right?
But how do you feel now being in modern zombies? Like you said, you love that atmosphere, you love the sounds, you love the sights. It's not really like that. You're not walking through Reckoning and hearing the screams from Verrückt.
I know.
You know what I mean? So
I will.
Yeah, go ahead. How do you feel about all that?
Sorry. I will say Reckoning was probably one of my least favorite zombies maps we've had in a long time to really pinch off Black Ops 6. I think something could have been done there, but there is kind of a thing in modern zombies, or there definitely is, that atmosphere is just not there anymore. I have a few certain reasons that it could be that way. I don't know if they're trying to, like, as a game, as a system, preserve an overall same lighting for the entirety of the game. Like, I think you hop into MW3, you hop into Black Ops 6, you go into a multiplayer map, I can't tell which game they're from. The lighting is completely the same. Everything is so similar, and I just miss, like, I've been playing recently, the COD I've been playing the most, Call of Duty Ghost, because I just want something super different. I loved when Call of Duty was different year to year, especially with zombies, and it really hasn't been the past few years. And atmospherically, I think we're on a better track. I think that there's probably some people at Treyarch that think the same way, and I think it's only a matter of time until people that maybe grew up with those, golden age zombies are going to get in there and be like, hey, actually, this needs to happen. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's anybody's fault or if there's just no passion, but it's like, I can't see how there's no passion. This is one of the most coolest things, I believe, on earth. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think we're headed in a good direction. If all the maps are not purple in Black Ops 7, then that's a plus for me. But, when they're talking a lot about atmosphere as they are this year, I think Farm's great. I think the trap, you know what I'm saying? The saw trap sounds really interesting, and that's just a little cool detail. But if they're talking a lot about atmosphere, I want to see different versions of atmosphere. And like Black Ops 3, it really was just exaggerated ideas of those places. So
yeah,
hopefully they do the same with Black Ops 7, but we've been told Black Ops 6 is going to be insane too. I don't know. I think Tomb's my favorite map, believe it or not.
Yeah. I think Tomb had the potential to be one of the better ones, like atmospherically, but I know this is going to be such a nitpick, but the plants just kill it for me. They look like,
really,
they look so generic. Like, I think of SpongeBob, kind of like, I'm like, we're walking through the dark ether. I'm like, these are just generic, like, jellyfish, coral reef things. I know it's a nitpick, but they're everywhere.
I completely understand that nitpick, because it's weird to me how we have so many different versions of what the dark ether looks like. And it's making it hard because it's like, okay, well, Vanguard's like the ancient dark ether, so that kind of makes sense. It's not purple yet, I guess. Or but then, Black Ops 3, I think Modern Warfare 3 Dark Ether looked the best.
I agree.
I think it's specifically the second mission with, like, the carousel or something like that. But I'm like, Black Ops 7 doesn't even look like that. So I'm a little, interested for that. But I think they just nailed lighting for that version of the Dark Ether.
I completely agree. What's weird about MWZ as well is it actually was pretty hard too. So it had atmosphere, it had grit, it had difficulty, but I was like, I don't want this mode. Like, put this in round base, guys. So
and you would think like, the bigger the map, the less condensed the atmosphere would be, but they actually did pretty well for what it was. I would say that you've even seen problems like that within the Reckoning. You know what I'm saying? Like, there'll just be areas where you're like, oh, there's not too much here to kind of look at. It's just, I don't know, business building / factory, again. And we've had that. We've had factory so many years now.
Yeah, and the other thing that drove me crazy about Reckoning, I'm so glad you like atmosphere as much as I do. It's probably,
thank you.
I think it's the most important thing. There was like parts in Reckoning where you would walk by a pile of fire and rubble, and then you'd like turn over, and then there'd be a pristine computer set.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. See, there needs to be like an overall, God, it's so easy to see because we've had it with Black Ops 3, but at the same time, it feels even hard to explain to anyone that would listen, you know what I'm saying? But yes, exactly. I think Black Ops 3 was condensed in the right manner. And you could attain that to map location or what's going on at the map. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of the pushback for the Liberty Falls atmosphere was like, oh, well, it just was, the zombies outbreak just happened.
Dude,
so
that's the dumbest argument ever. I hate it so much.
God. And my thing is like, okay, we got Shattered Veil, Reckoning, and Liberty Falls all in the same freaking area, yet their skyboxes are so similar. It's not even funny. You know why the Liberty Falls argument just doesn't work? It's because it's fiction. So it's like it's not like I go outside and I'm just attacked by zombies. It's like Treyarch made it the fuck up, guys. They could make it start at any point, at any time, anywhere, anyhow, because it's their game. Yeah. So I don't like when people do that stuff, because it's like, well, then Treyarch should have done a better job. Yeah. And also, why was Reckoning and Shattered Veil more dilapidated and more atmospheric than Liberty Falls if it's all kind of around the same time frame and the outbreak just happened? It's like, it's not a good argument. And it's like you have Liberty Falls set in the morning, you have Shattered Veil, and I know they're different days, of course, right? Or maybe potentially not. Actually, maybe they're all on the... No, they're not.
It took the whole story takes place in like a week or something like that.
Yeah. That's interesting, because at the same time that Liberty Falls was happening, Terminus, and then they went to Citadel, Tomb, and then Shattered Veil. So, but it's like you went from normal daytime to bluish evening, like things are getting dark, the sun ain't coming back up, and then you Reckoning, the sun's higher in the sky. It's like, oh my, I thought Reckoning would take place at night. I thought it's the final map, a night map would make sense. Again, right? You started off with Terminus, you ended with a night map. But I don't know. I guess maybe it was just something visibility wise. I thought the towers would have looked way cooler at night with lights flashing on them. But yeah, that's very interesting. And that's, I guess, part of the same problem that, the atmosphere over the past few games has kind of been lacking in that department. I think, if you go map to map, it's like Vanguard had a better like atmospherical color palette map to map than Black Ops 6 even did, which
they were at least
crazy,
different. Better is a strong word, but they were different.
Yes, I will say that. But if you were, all right, now this is a hypothetical, of course, but would you take the Reckoning with the Terra Maledict, or no, let me use the first one.
The Archon? Or Duran
Fang? No, not the Duran Fang. Yeah, would you take that atmosphere on Reckoning, or no, that wouldn't even make sense. Reckoning's atmosphere on Duran Fang would just be terrible.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're kind of saying, like just the bleakness, the nighttime. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would probably prefer it to be night, but all I would say is like the more I've like kind of been exploring this argument of atmosphere and trying to like justify my position on it. Yeah. I've been like going back and playing, Ancient Evil or
Yeah.
Other maps that take like Garad Crovy, and they're Ancient Evil's not really like during the day. Well, it could be. I'm not even really sure, but it's very
Yeah.
bright in Ancient Evil. Like you're walking through like some of the areas in the daytime
Mhm.
area or whatever you want to call.
Yeah.
It's very bright and vibrant. But I'm never sitting
Mhm.
there thinking like this is so bright and vibrant. There, the color palette's not. I'm not sitting there
Yeah.
thinking about that. And same with Gorod Crovy. It's daylight and the sun's bright and shining, but there's death and destruction all around you. I feel
And it's
claustrophobic.
orange.
It's so
Yes.
orange. Yeah. Which
It
is funny.
so orange.
Because that's actually why I don't like the map as much as the other map, is because I don't like orange.
Really?
I'm not an orange guy.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
I'm a big Zetsubo no Shima fan. Okay, what can I say?
Dude,
I know
me
people are gonna
too.
cap on me for the Tomb and Zetsubo no Shima, but
no,
you
dude,
too?
I love Zet. It's my favorite.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, thank you. First of all, soundtrack banging. I don't think a map's has looked better than Zetsubo no Shima since Zetsubo no Shima came out.
It's so good.
maybe Dead than Ancient Evil, but it is so good. The vines hanging over everything, things dripping off, the thunder. One of my favorite, maybe I'll call it a cue that happens in Zombies is when you're walking into the cocoon area and the thunder starts. It's at generator A, but every time, I don't know what you cross, but as soon as you approach that area, this thunder comes in and kind of lights up the cocoon area in front of you to kind of present that to you in a way. And that just stuck with me, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's things like that when you approach a new area and something happens. Like I know they have the zombies eating people now when you open doors. That's a step forward, I would say.
It is cool.
But there's other things, right, that happen too that are so subtle, but really just mix well with the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to go back to BO3 and BO4 for a second. It's funny because in my head, like Shadows is red, DE is blue, the Giants like blue, Zetsubo's green, Gorod's orange, and then Revelations is like blue red. And when I got into BO4, at first I was kind of pissed because they took that away. And I actually think that standardization of lighting kind of started in BO4, but the maps were still so dense and the art direction was so rich that it grew on me over time. But I don't know why they don't have that color palette thing anymore. I don't get it.
For real. It's a bit interesting because even with an area like Liberty Falls, Shattered Vale, whatever, it is somewhat easy to do. It's just the time of day thing or, what is on the map or the color of the map, the walls for crying out loud. But yeah, that's a thing that has always rubbed me the wrong way recently. Because I'm like, I think that really gets me excited for, Zetsubo no Shima came out in the springtime when everything around me was green and it was like thundering and it just, down here in Texas, the season felt like that map looked, right? I'm outside, I'm smelling the plants. I just feel Zetsubo no Shima. Same thing, there was a lot of sunsets. I want to say it was around July, I think, at least when we got the trailer for Gorod, but that really kind of set the mood for me for that season.
That's interesting.
And now yeah, I go about it that way, I guess. But I haven't had that much for Shattered Vale. Like that came out in the springtime. That's not, I don't know. I don't know why I like to pick on Shattered Vale. I think it's my least favorite Black Ops 6 map. If not, like even Cold War, I think it's worse than all the Cold Wars.
That's interesting. I think that Terminus is probably the best map in BO6 now that the dust has settled.
Yeah.
But I think Shattered Vale would be my second favorite because of two things. Because of the Easter egg and because of the surprise of, there's so much to that map. Like you start off in this garden and I thought, okay, well, here we go. Another Liberty Falls bullshit. And I'm like walking through and it kind of gets bigger and I'm like in this greenhouse or this like expansive garden with all these rocks. And then I kind of go into the mansion and I'm like, holy crap. Like there's like music playing. I'm like seeing this T-Rex. I'm like looking everywhere. It's very expansive and big. And then it puts you into these tight corridors. And then you just like keep going and you're like down in the lab and then you find like secret areas. So in my opinion, they gave me like what I wanted in terms of exploration and art direction, but in mystery. But yeah, I mean, I agree with like the color
Yeah.
palette and all that stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
generic for sure.
I think the big, like, I completely understand. I just think the biggest thing for me with Shattered Veil, even before it came out, when we knew we were going to a mansion, I'm like, first of all, why the hell are we going back to a mansion when we've already had a map there? And do we really think that we can do it better than they had before? Because if not, which I believe was the case, I don't think it was better than Dead of the Night atmospherically or gameplay or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, it's not.
I'm like, well, why even do that idea? Like, how does that's not making, I guess, it giving anyone really what they want, or at least before it came out. And I hear a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, that map was the best looking, and I do agree, it's one of the better looking, if not that. I think Terminus maybe have it, but it's one of the better looking maps. But it still has nothing on Dead of the Night, and it just boggles my mind how that passed so many people for them. And they were just like, yeah, we're going to do a mansion again. It's not going to be the same or even remotely tied to it. And it's not even going to look as good. So it's like, I like when they lock into atmospheres. The reason I believe Dead of the Night worked is because they locked on to the haunted mansion aesthetic and they knocked it out of the park. I don't believe for a majority of the maps in Black Ops 6, they really found an aesthetic and locked onto it and made sure they did that. Like, you've got Liberty Falls. I think, hey, if that were, I even made some like fake renders back in the day of changing the skybox to more of a sunset and a red color palette for Liberty Falls. But it's like, you have a beautiful bowling alley and you're not even going to turn the lights on. Like, I see all the lights up there. If it were evening and you really had, a little bit of lens flare on that, walking into the bowling alley would be a really cool thing. But it's like they didn't match the mood for that location for what it really could have given you.
Yeah.
If they were more in the and the lights would really mean something at that point. It's like, try and think of if there's street lights on Liberty Falls. I can't remember if there is, because if that were in my mind, I would have seen it. It would have looked cool. I would have remembered. But there's a lot of points of interest, I think, on that map and others where I'm like, well, if other things were tweaked, it could have looked a lot better. It could have meant something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I mean, dude, I completely agree. And even in some of the things with Shattered Veil, and then I'll tie it back to what with the theme locking that you're talking about. I thought story wise, it was the map that felt the most Treyarch in a while. Like, it actually had a self-contained story with Richtofen, being trapped there, and Sam being devious, even though it turned into nothing really. But and then it had like the old people who had lived there in the past and were going through their paintings. And funnily enough, each painting room had its own like LUT on it. You know what I mean? And
exactly. And that was very cool.
I'm like, bro, you guys can clearly do it. Like, why are you doing this for the whole damn map? But
I know.
So there.
I thought that aspect was very cool, though. Like,
it was
seeing the history in those rooms, like, really cool idea.
And this is a talking point that I'm kind of stealing from Mr. Awful Waffles, but he talks often about like how it feels like the gameplay team and the writing team and the artistic team. I don't know how it works in game dev. I'm assuming it's not that reductive.
Yeah.
But he says it feels like they don't communicate with one another and they're kind of all doing their jobs and they, bring it together, but there isn't that like the devil in the details type stuff. Like what you're talking about, like a street light that you would find beautiful, or, the sunset on Liberty Falls or whatever it is. He doesn't feel like that is communicated properly, but it felt like Shattered Veil was a map where they did have good communication for the most part. It's just a shame it wasn't in a better location.
And I had always had a theory too that Liberty Falls would change and would look different, maybe throughout the life cycle or something in Black Ops 6, or we'd get a different version, right? When DLC 5 was kind of speculated about. But what also led me to believe that is there's a few things about Black Ops 6 that still don't make sense to me when it came to the marketing and the overall kind of the teasers they released. There was one teaser all the way back when they had the website, right? On that little TV, and it was a cutscene of a few zombies outside. It was one part, I want to say the chicken spot, all right, on top of Liberty Falls. And there were a few zombies. It was like a VHS footage of a few zombies there, and then another VHS clip of a cop like pulling out a gun and like trying to protect people from zombies. We never saw that ever.
Interesting.
Besides the teasers pre-game, that was nowhere to be found. It was a clip of a police pulling out, you know what I'm saying, at Liberty Falls. I think there was probably going to be more. I want to say, hopefully, because I don't know why they would even focus in on a town aesthetic again if they weren't going to blow it out of the park and have something else with it as well. But that's always been interesting to me too, and always led me to believe that there would be more. But I guess not.
See, I'm so jaded and negative with some of this stuff now. Not all
I know,
of it,
me too, and I hate it. I
hate it too, man. Because when I see that, or like that example you just gave, or there's something, I think there's like a court effects thing inside of the jail cell in the Terminus intro cutscene or whatever.
Yes.
I can't remember specifically what it is. But when they do stuff like that, when Blundell and Craig were working together, I would have believed wholeheartedly that it meant something.
Yeah.
Now I just think it's a mistake.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Like the whole thing at the beginning of Liberty Falls, what is it? Like chaos will save us or something like that? Or it's like trust in chaos. I want to say it's
yeah.
What was it? Yeah, it's like, for what? What do you mean trust in chaos? They're nowhere to be found. It's just stuff like that. It's like, I get if there's people right behind the game that are like, oh, we want to do this little thing for the community. Great, right? But you got to understand that people are going to take these things and just, have a ball with them and write their own narrative. And, you're kind of not even delivering. It's kind of false promises at that point because of the way we look at things. But, they'll attain it to maybe that's just the atmosphere of zombies. But then again, there's other ways to do it.
Yeah,
that is very interesting.
Yeah, I think some of the devs or whoever does those things are just kind of missing the point of why we liked those. Yeah, that the mystery and the secrecy. And now they're just kind of throwing stuff out. They're like, oh my gosh, did you know the Sentinel artifacts on Terminus? Oh my gosh, did you know that you're collecting it in the tomb? And it's like, why?
Yeah,
why? Yeah. There's no reason for
how did it get there? Yeah, like why is the ice staff on Origins? One thing that always boggles my mind, why the hell was the Origins Game Over song melody reused in Firebase Z? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's because Samantha went into that big... It was the same melody. Dun,
I'd have
dun, 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 that one.
I'm gonna have to listen to it again because I'm
notes. And I rarely heard anyone talk about that, but it's the same 4 notes played in the style. And maybe that has to do with Samantha going into that big ball, you know what I'm saying? As she pretty much does, I guess, in every game.
Firebase Z, or did you mean Firebase Z?
Firebase Z, yes.
Okay. Just clarifying.
Yeah, interesting, right? Yeah. And that actually kind of, I think I was going to mention about something earlier about how every map is kind of constructed with a big area that seems to be evolving around a circle or a centerpiece. Die Machine, Shattered Veil. I want to say there's a few others, most definitely.
I mean, the Tomb to a degree.
Tomb to a degree, 100%. And it seems like that may be the case with our upcoming DLC 1 map, based on that image. Astral, what was it called? Astro Malorum?
Yeah, I've been working all day, so I haven't looked at it super deeply. So
you're good.
I've just seen the image and I saw the dev thing.
That's
briefly.
It. Yeah, that's it. It's just the image, as well as the logo. Logo looks pretty cool, but the image looks like it's another circle area. Of course, the most interesting part being that centerpiece. A lot of people speculated it to be the Space Station Zombies map that was leaked. I do not believe it's that. I think looking on the outside, it looks kind of just like it's a ballroom or something. So that is very interesting. I want to say based on the chairs and the kind of architecture, it looks pre-1940. It could still be that 1940s post-nuclear World War II New York zombies map that was leaked. I think that could just be a section maybe they've teased. And I think everyone thinks it's the space station because it looks like it's in space, but I want to say that's just an astral projection, maybe something to have to do with the Easter egg.
Yeah, it just looks like a planetarium room or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Planetarium room. That's what I was trying to, yeah.
No, I got what you were saying. No, I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks cool. And this, this is like kind of what I was alluding to in the video I'm working on and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like and just like take a couple steps back. Like,
Mhm.
what do you think about Ashes of the Damned and Farm so far? Like aesthetically, do you like them? I know you kind of touched on it, but can you dive a little
Yeah,
bit deeper into it?
aesthetically, I think I like it a lot if those aesthetics, and we'll have to wait and see with the rest of the season, of course, or the following seasons, if that's the only map that'll carry that atmosphere and really make it distinct. If that's Ashes of the Damned, if that's the unique atmosphere just for that map and those locations, I'm good with it. I'm cool. I'm looking a lot forward to Diner, because I think they said in one of the recent developer videos that they're trying to make each individual location feel completely different, maybe different enemies.
I don't know,
But I'm
how they're
hoping it
gonna
goes
do that.
beyond that. Yeah, I'm hoping it goes beyond that. I know they're all going to have the same skybox, but I think we'll be getting more survival maps with the other locations throughout the seasons, like for other maps, like maybe a New York survival map, which would be tight. But I think the atmosphere is a step up 110%. But then again, I think it's the same size step up that we saw from Cold War to Black Ops 6. So it's not a huge jump like BO2 to BO3 or BO1 to BO2. But I think they're also slowly starting to move in the right direction. If every map is not purple and Black Ops 7, I'll be happy. I'll be a happy camper. But based on that one image we got, and I'm not trying to, I'm very skeptical, like you are as well. They have the 3 maps there. They show survival, another survival map, and then they got the Astra Melora map. But it looks like the same color palette. If you were to show me those 3 screenshots individually and told me they were from the same map, I would believe you. You know what I'm saying? I need it to be different.
I mean, the Astra Malorum looks. I mean, I'm gonna try to defend a little bit here. It looks more blue than purple. I know I'm like,
True.
That's like a couple degrees of separation there, but
yeah, a couple shades.
and it could be like because if you look in the hall, there's like an area where there's a little hall. There's like some lights on, so I mean, it could be different.
Could be a room.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure. I agree, and that's why I'm thinking, the New York map, hopefully that's like outside and where it's more city and destruction, and I would even be fine with
it's got to be better. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I agree. It's got to be better than Shall and Shuffle. It's got to be more New York. It's got to be more that than Shall and Shuffle, because that's the only thing I think we can compare a New York Zombies map to now. And at the same time, since it's a city map, you're also comparing it to Shadows of Evil, and you're also comparing it to the time period that it takes place. So it's got to reflect that as well. One thing that's interesting is Astra Malorum, I believe from Latin translates to Stars of Evil. So that is very interesting too. Could that play into kind of that Shadows of Evil vibe? Will we see a different alternate reality version of a part of Morgue City, which I think would be sick? That could be the possibility, but
that's interesting.
Obviously we don't know too much from this image. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the DLC season is true, like if it's New York, the volcano thing in Japan, Vietnam, Afghanistan, like all those different places, Dark Ether Space Station, it sounds pretty cool. It does sound pretty cool.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Like I'm on board for it. All of those different locations, like I don't like when all the locations get leaked out. Like if I were in charge of leaks, you know what I'm saying? I would leak them out, one by one, get people hyped up. But it, like I said, like I am skeptical because in the back of my mind, if they've iterated this on Dev Talks or whatever, they're like, all of these maps take place in the Dark Ether. And I'm like, is every part of the Dark Ether purple?
Yeah.
It could just be those wisps in the sky, because I believe in our Black Ops 7 skybox, it looks like wisps, but then it looks like the normal like nighttime moon shining behind it. So I'm wondering if a map were to take place in the day, would it include the purple and be at daytime so it would look very different? But even then, like I wasn't a fan of the purple on Mauer and Firebase Z, like outside of the map. I thought that looked bad because I'm like, I get what it means, but at the same time, like you're ruining my view here. I'm trying to look into the mountains and I can't see it.
Yeah. The purple, it will bother me over time, but it's just crazy how much how much the atmosphere and even the futuristic weapons have made me
Yes.
feel more it feels much more Treyarchy to me.
Yes, I agree. Like I couldn't name you. Like it's better for me to name you weapons from like Ghost, Advanced Warfare, World at War, because they're all different. I can memorize them better. But yeah, for the past few years, modern or not, 90s is pretty much modern. Every game's had pretty much the same palette of weapons. You've got your AK or your this or your that. But yeah, Black Ops 7, I think, even within multiplayer, I've been having a lot of fun with that actually.
I liked it a
The
lot
weapon,
too.
yes, yeah, I'm actually very excited for that. But the weapon list in Black Ops 7 gets me very excited, and it does feel a lot more like Black Ops 2.
Yeah. I mean, like having the KRM and the Man of War and like just all those guns from BO3, they felt so iconic. And in BO4, the KN44, like, I don't know, when I just look at them,
Yeah.
they felt like they had personality and stuff. And just loading into Cold War. In Cold War, it wasn't a big deal, but in BO6, it really started to bother me. I was like, oh my God, the
Yeah.
XM4 again, the Kilo again.
I know.
And it's just, there's all the attachments look the same. And I was just, BO6 really, I know it's like a meme calling it Cold War 2.0 because it's not, but there were some things that really made it feel like Cold War 2.0. And that's,
Yeah.
the loadouts, the field upgrades, the same stuff in the crafting table, the weapons. I'm like, if this all had changed and we had the kind of this, maybe the same maps with the Easter eggs and the boss fights, I don't know if it would have bothered me as much, but there's always like something from the previous game that like sticks its foot into the new game. And I'm like, can't we just like get rid of that for a little bit? And
exactly. And it's like, I miss when perk icons used to be redone for each game. And that's low key. Like, that's easy work. You replace the PNG, you make it look different because it's a different game. It's a different place, for crying out loud. But since Cold War, we've had the same PNGs of every perk icon. They used to fit the mode a lot more. They used to have a little bit of inner shadow around the edges, or be, off-white a little bit. It used to really kind of set in there. But it's like, it's stuff like that when it's like, they're like, I feel like in Cold War, they're like, okay, for this new modern zombies era, we got this figured out. We got it. Let's not touch it again. Let's just move on. And it's like, they've started with a lot of stuff that we didn't want to perspire over those different games. That maybe they just locked onto because they made that decision at first, years ago. But I would even put Cold War over Black Ops 6, I think, personally. Which is interesting because I didn't even get to report on that game. I wasn't even making those videos at that time, but it's weird. It's weird. I think after everything's said and done, I felt better during that season than I did Black Ops.
It's a tough one for me because the Easter eggs and the boss fights are clearly better in Black Ops 6. Like they're not great, but the boss fights are good. But the quests were, they still highlighted everything in yellow. They're dropping heavy hints. There's nothing, no crazy puzzles, but they were better.
I never did any Easter eggs in Cold War at all. I did all the Easter eggs for Black Ops 6. I did 0 for Cold War in any game before that. I may have done Horizon Drag at one point back in 2015, but even without the Easter eggs, I mean, from my experience, I'm just like, there was just something about, I think Mauder Toten is still the best New Age Zombies map for the looks and just kind of aesthetic. Obviously you spawn in, you got that classic World at War eviction round start theme from the campaign. But just like something about the rain reflecting and
it's a good map,
the graffiti.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It gives me good vibes. And I like to look back on that one a lot. Even though, gosh, how long has that been? It doesn't seem like that long, but it's probably been a good minute.
It's like 2021 or 2020, something like that.
That's crazy. Yeah. Damn.
Time flies, man. You'll be 100 in no time.
Oh my God.
It's it is weird. Like I think I agree that Cold War had it felt better throughout the year, even though there were some hard times because of
oh
COVID
my God, during Outbreak and
an outbreak and just the devs weren't able to update the game as frequently, and there was a lot of droughts, but it felt I still think I like the way the game felt compared to BO6. But there are
Yeah, a
things
little
in
bit more
BO6 that
sharp.
they improved upon that I thought were better,
Yeah.
quality of life stuff. I just didn't want to see the same
Yeah.
systems again. And now they're bringing them back
Exactly.
again. Are you a
It's
gameplay guy? Like, do you care about that stuff?
I guess I slightly care. I would say, a cosmetic change, which I think we're seeing at least with the arsenal and the way it kind of pops up visually on your screen. I think changes like that are good, but a fan of the new system, nah. I think the way it used to play was so much better. It felt more rewarding when I was able to open a door and see what's behind there on my third or fourth time playing, because it is very difficult and I couldn't get there. Um, but I just think it's made it a little too easy, and I don't know. I feel like now the zombies themselves aren't the most menacing thing. I don't know if that has to do with how tight the spreads are for, a horde, or how fast they come out, or the daunting feeling of them breaking down barriers, which boggles my mind why barriers are not in Black Ops 6 Zombies. It's ridiculous. That I will die on a hill for. Oh my God. Barriers used to mean everything to the atmosphere. It used to make it feel cool when you're standing next to a window holding X and your screen kind of jiggles because you're getting more essence. You're building up your points. Fit more with the better point system that everyone seems to like. I don't even know why they keep trying to nail in our heads like this is better. But barriers meant everything. I found them on Liberty Falls once. There's actually a set of the same barriers I have here, same build. But they're broken down and they're like at the church, like on the floor. So it's like they have barriers. I'm just a little confused. Like, I don't know why they were in Cold War. They were on the new engine. It made sense. It still felt cool. But those seem to leave it. No one's talking about that. So I'm like, I know they don't serve a huge gameplay purpose anymore, but for the atmosphere and for like, when I think of COD Zombies in my head, I see barriers. I see Nocturne Totem when you spawn in. I see Verruct when you spawn in, and I see barriers. So it's just kind of like that also just was able to visually represent, I think, the lack of art direction. And I don't think maybe they completely knew what Zombies was when it was just balling.
I think that modern Treyarch has like this current crop of devs, they've changed some things with like just the way the game flows. Zombies are so fast, the gameplay is so fast. Like having barriers would just impede the speed of like the game now. And like when I don't know if you are like if you're in Liberty Falls or whatever map, really, Liberty Falls is a good example. Like if you're standing in the spawn room on the ground, like where that like by the gas station to the right, you just look around, zombies are coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And I think initially like I liked that. I liked it, but now I don't.
Because it's like,
there's too many. There's too many of them. You can't really hoard them tightly like you used to be able to. They're so fast. And one of the like talking about Reckoning before with like the clean computers and the fiery stuff or whatever. Like you're just speeding past all the shit anyway. It's like the almost like the art doesn't even matter because you're constantly zooming.
Yeah.
Where
it's like I like when I'm having to get next to a window, and hold X and be able to see everything and really appreciate what that is.
Yeah.
Or like spawning in a building. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Sorry. There's a little bit of a delay, so we keep cutting each other off. It's all good though. But like in BO3 and BO4, they started to speed it up a little bit, but in BO3 and BO2 or whatever, the game was a little slower, and it built tension in the gameplay loop too, which contributed to the atmosphere. Like everything connected, and now I feel like things are a little bit more segmented. It's like, okay, we want speedy gameplay, camo grinding, all these cool systems, for elongating the gameplay loop. But we're also going to build a map, but there's like no connection to that gameplay loop with the Easter eggs or the quests, and then the story doesn't fully connect to the map's atmosphere. It's like they're all kind of compartmentalized with like minimal crossover, and it's frustrating.
It is, because it's like, how much better would it, you look at a bunch of these, pretty much every map of Black Ops 6, the spawn room. Look at the spawn room. Like, I think the Reckoning and Terminus sort of are like the only ones where you're really indoors. It's like, I miss when we started in a super small area and we had to save up enough points and rebuild these barriers or we're going to get overrun to get out of here. Like that I felt like was a very core part of Zombies. It made you feel like you were getting broken in on, and the only thing between you and it was like 5 seconds if you wanted to give it up to rebuild some barriers. You know, or like, or someone killed a last zombie and you're still trying to hold out, like, oh, we aren't ready yet. Like everything's not, you know, they're gonna get in fast now, and that's even worse. So like, I miss those times in zombies. You know, I think that's the feeling that people are looking for, because now it's not only not hard, but you're not given that feeling of having to fight your way out of this place. It's more just like, you're here.
Yeah, there's no tension. And
yeah.
And what's funny, I know they're changing this, so I want to preface for people watching, they're changing this, so you don't have to yell at me quite yet. But in Cold War, when the helicopter like landed at the beginning of the map, like in D Machine, I was like, what the hell's going on? And then you just like start, like your screen you're just in the map, and I was like so thrown off. I was like, why am I not faded from black into the map? Like all these little changes. I there's this phrase I use all the time, and it's annoying, I know, but I'm gonna say it again. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. And it's like they changed the fade in from starting in the map. They changed barriers. They changed like giving us loadout systems. They changed this thing, they changed that thing, the art direction, the color palette. And it's like they're not big changes on their own, but they collectively they're huge.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think they've made too many of those changes. I think the community has been vocal for long enough now for them to be able to look at that and say, hey, things need to change, right? But I think a lot of us are just curious as to why that hasn't happened yet. And
I don't know, man. 5 years isn't that long to bitch. I think we need to bitch for another 5 years, and then maybe they'll finally give us a little nugget.
Yeah, exactly. God, 5 years. That's insane.
It is.
I think, well, you know, we've had leaks, right? That I believe next year's COD is on a different engine. And I know that there's going to be no zombies that year, speculatively. But I think they will, you know, once Zombies happens again on the new engine, could it be different because they start from scratch again? Who knows?
Oh, I don't know, man. It honestly makes me nervous because there's two things that I think the community wanted and got, but we didn't get it in the way we wanted. So it like appears to be contradictory. But the first one is, how many years did we always beg for like 2 years of zombies in a row? Cold War year 2 used to be a thing. Black Ops 4 year 2, BO3 year 2. We always wanted that year 2. And now we kind of have it with BO6 and BO7. And we're all like, oh, it's too much. Can Treyarch deliver? But I think a lot of it is, well, we wanted BO3 year 2. Like we wanted the pristine top tier, top shelf game year 2. And then the engine changes. It's like, a lot of the times players were like, oh my God, I hated going from BO3 to Infinite Warfare or BO3 to BO4. And it's like, well, I get you, but if you want year 2 of a game, if you don't want this annual release cycle, you're going to have to accept an engine for a substantial amount of time. But it's like, I don't even know if I like this engine to the point where I want to keep it. So I want them to update it, but to what?
Exactly. I what's crazy to me too is like, you know, thinking back, Black Ops 3, which is, I guess, what we all pretty much at this point consider the golden age, is closer to Infinite Warfare and play style than modern Zombies is. Like, Infinite Warfare is more zombies, I would say, than the past 3 years of Zombies.
I was thinking about that like, the other day, bro.
Yeah.
I agree so much.
For real. And it's like, how do they not see that? Like, that's, you know, as a company, you're gonna want people in there calling shots that represent well with the louder people, I guess you could say, in the community. Maybe we're not too loud enough, but it's like, you know, it's a little weird. I don't know.
It also has to do with packaging, and this ties into art design and intention and all that stuff. But think about in Infinite Warfare, you had grenades and backpacks dropping all the time, which is no different than, you know, ether wrench dropping or grenades dropping.
Perfect example.
And then you also had the tickets currency and the coins currency. So you would go up to different machines to buy a score streak and to buy items from the arcade. The thing though that made it not feel like, oh, I just have a chopper gunner because I have a chopper gunner because it's like, no, this fit They redesigned it and fit it into that aesthetic, and they didn't overdo it.
Exactly.
And I think modern zombies has this problem where they're like, well, we want to give you every single tool ever under the sun, and it's like, no, you can't do that. Give us like 6 great tools, redesign them for Call of Duty Zombies, and then let us earn them in unique and fun ways.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And you're even talking to like, I agree with the things dropping on the ground too. Like I can see in my head what that looked like with kind of like that 80s kind of pattern moving up from them. It's like now we just have glowing objects. Like my biggest gripe, I think, going forward, something I want them to change in Black Ops 7 is like the salvage is glowing. It has a green thing around it. It's floating off the ground. That ruins my atmosphere. Give me an option to where, maybe just take off the glowing green part, right? I could have it floating. It doesn't cause too much chaos, right? But even it just being on the ground and looking like a pile of dirt or rubble, I think would be so much better. And really allow the atmosphere to breathe for a little bit. Same, like, I don't think anything should be glowing in zombies. Even rarities. One thing I think I talked even pre-launch for Black Ops 7 was like, gun rarities, fine. I understand, it works. Longevity for gameplay, cool, got it. I guess it's fun. But don't have it glow around the weapon itself. Give me a piece of like colored duct tape around the hilt or something. Like make it still feel like zombies. Like I want the crazy things in zombies to be the zombies, to be a glowing mystery box, to be a box light. But when I see other things glowing and it kind of just reminds me of the rest of the game or Warzone, which a lot of us aren't particularly fond of. It just pulls me back into that space that I don't want to be in.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I never thought about putting the rarity on the actual gun itself.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd work a lot better.
I mean, there's so many little things they could do, like with the HUD. It's maybe instead of making having the gun outline there or whatever, they could put it like around your character icon. There's like 10 jabillion things they could do.
Or maybe it's like you have to get the gun from the box to see what rarity it is. So then it's even more of a mystery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not much of a mystery anymore when we can see what the rarity is. No, we don't want to take it. And even if someone else wants it, we can take it and drop it. Like, no mystery there. It's pretty clear.
I will say I have become brain rotted when it comes to dropping the weapons on the ground. Like I go back to Black Ops 4 or anything beforehand and I'm like, oh, I have to commit to this. And I do think it's better to commit, but I will admit I have become completely brain rotted to it. So
yeah, same. Yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, I'm excited for what Black Ops 7 has to hold. I mean, it's making a lot of calls, a lot of shots, a lot of big ideas, with the different locations and everything. But it's I don't know. It's very interesting looking ahead.
All right. Well, one last quick question before we get into the wrap up and the lightning round, as I like to call it.
Perfect.
But
lightning round.
What do you think about the story? Do you give a shit about the story at all?
I love the story. Yes. I'm very interested to see what they kind of do with our different locations on Ashes of the Damned, because that's like kind of the only thing we can go off at this point. We don't know anything about Astra Malorum. But we have that cabin, right, which is about a director who lived there and then you see there's like a freaking what you call it, like a moving picture freaking thing, projector,
a movie projector. Yeah,
in there, and it's this exact same one we packed with on Infinite Warfare. And then you turn on the power for that location, that is an Infinite Warfare power switch if I've ever seen one.
Do you like that, or do you think it's?
I think if it means something cool, because Farm has the OG power switch. I can't remember. I believe there's some sort of a different power switch for the.
They each
Cowboy.
have a unique one. Yeah.
Yes, but it's like, that's obviously Infinite Warfare. So they got to do something there. I'm excited to see the Ascension kind of part of the map, which also kind of rubs me the wrong way. If it's not Ascension, why even do it again? Why put a rocket launch thing there? That's fine. It's the same color palette too, which is very interesting to me when it comes to the rocket and everything. But I believe it was Yuri, or the Pentagon Thief, who is kind of, he could kind of show up there. So I'm interested for all those little story beats. And I think for the overarching story, I think what's going to happen is obviously because we've had these leaked locations, they obviously obtain to those characters' backstories and where they came from. So I think it's kind of going to be a Black Ops 3 situation where we go through and have to do something for their souls or try and get them out of the dark ether. And I wouldn't even doubt, because the fact that we have 8 playable characters now, maybe it's meant for one of the, I guess our Terminus crew to kind of replace them as we go along and are setting them free. I'm not sure, but that's just kind of a little theory I had. But I don't know. I'm very interested to see where that goes out in the story specifically, and I'm liking that we'll finally get the hell out of one just kind of contained area like we had in Black Ops 6 with 3 of those maps.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that the reason we were in that contained area was because of Outbreak or Warzone or something, and they had to reuse
maybe
the assets.
Something was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And true, especially if they're put on 2 games in a row, like they're probably like, okay, well, we can actually make this Outbreak location into 3 maps and whip up a quick story.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm worried about the story. I just want it to be interesting because
yes,
and
I want it to end.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a funny way to say it, but yes, I mean, I hate the Weaver crew or whatever they're called. I hate those characters.
It's just like that's the crew we've kind of been like stuck with. Like I get it for the story, sort of, but it's like why even go that direction? It's not adding anything unique. It's not, I think in World at War it made a lot of sense too. You got people from every sides of that war. And then, now obviously because we've loved them so much, we stick with them.
It turned into something bigger.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, well, this crew doesn't really have anything crazy about it. We have Shadows of Evil and they're all crazy because they come from Morgue City, obviously, or the Call of the Dead crew, one of my favorite classics. Oh my God. Just the whole idea of that map, I think is awesome. But they were kind of unique. There's nothing really too unique about them at all. If she's a scientist, she's a scientist. That's it. Of course you can look into the backstories, but they're not really present when you're playing as them. They're not really hitting you in the face with a bunch of these great quotes. And it feels a little bit shallow. And I think, what was it? The whole thing during Black Ops 6 where they had to replace, I think, some of the voice acters, which I kind of forgot about. I'm not going to lie. That kind of also was like, okay, well.
I think that screwed things up, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Who did they replace? I forgot. It was like
Peck got replaced, and then they got rid of Julie Nathanson for Sam. Samantha. But then we don't really know what happened with Gray and Maya and those other characters. They just kind of stopped making quotes for them in the cutscenes. They just weren't talking anymore. So I
am glad we're getting an intro for every single map in Black Ops 7. I like that they went out and said that, but which makes me think even more. And I think for a lot of us, it's like, okay, well, Black Ops 7 is the real game they were making. And Black Ops 6 is just the one they squoze in.
Squoze?
Like,
yeah. I'm going to start using that. They squoze it.
Oh, perfect. Squoze it.
Yeah, dude, I agree. It feels like Black Ops 7 is the game. And, I know I've been a little pessimistic about everything, and I'm now kind of talking to the audience here. Like, I know I've been pessimistic about stuff. I know I've been skeptical. I know I'm like, I would say I'm leaning into negativity, but all the stuff that we were just talking about the story and the anticipation, the intro cutscenes, the changes they've made to the systems of gameplay have been for the positive. It seems like the art direction is going to be killer. It seems like everything is going in the right direction. It's just for the last 5 years, it hasn't been. Yeah. So it's like, what am I supposed to think?
Not to speak up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I completely agree. It's like, don't get me wrong. New Call of Duty, new campaign, new multiplayer maps to go through and spectate on and whatever. I like exploring them like that. New zombie maps, new things to anticipate, new round start themes, new game over music. Like everything that used to get me excited for every game still exists and gets me excited. But at the same time, it's just like, I know that this is our one shot every year to have a new game. And usually it sets the foundation for what we're getting ahead. For Black Ops 6, I thought it was all right. Didn't really end up meeting my expectations. So it's a little hard for me and a little stressful to kind of get in there and be like, what do I think? But so far, I think I'm really going to enjoy it. The beta. I loved Farm Survival. I think I'm more excited for the survival maps this time around than kind of the bigger entries. I just like that more. I think it's more of an encapsulating kind of condensed atmosphere I don't have to worry about too much. But yeah, I think because of the last 5 years, it's just hard for us to kind of read what can happen. I think considering again that this is the last game on that engine and they're throwing everything at the wall and every season is going to be huge apparently, I think is good and it's going to make me like it more than the other entries we've had over the last 5 years. The last one I think I really enjoyed was Modern Warfare 3. So it's like the fact that we're having kind of another one of that again is good. The fact that it's the last on the engine, I believe, right? So if we don't like it, the next year we're getting something different, I think it's good too. So I'm really just kind of trying to chill out and enjoy it and take it for what it is. You know, things look to be getting better, so the horizon looks promising. But then again, you know, who knows?
Yeah. I I also kind of miss the whole dingy like dive bar aesthetic that Call of Duty kind of used to have in a way. I know it was like super AAA, but you know, Blundell and the devs of that era, it felt a little kind of like punk rock. You know, it felt a little anti-authority, and
exactly.
now Zombies feels so corporate and
so corporate.
It bums me out, you know, like seeing those intel drops and there's like a $20,000 like wonder vehicle behind them. I'm like, why? Just talk to me like I'm a person.
Well, that's probably just like a freaking tax write-off for them or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Which like, all right, cool.
Which makes it even worse.
I know. It's like, God, spend money on having me come in and do all the perk icons again or make some round star themes. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think it's also that the Zombies community is filled with so many passionate people. Like, I literally went to, it was earlier this year, Alcatraz for my 5,000 sub special. Still haven't hit 6, so that'd be great. But I flew myself out to San Francisco by myself, went to Alcatraz, brought the ray guns, and I'm telling you, I believe concretely I have the best comparison of Mob of the Dead to real life that is ever on YouTube and may just ever be on YouTube. As well as an Easter, I made that whole video an Easter egg. So I have like a code up on the wall, or in Alcatraz when the lightning flashes, I have codes pop up and people in the comments have to figure it out and like piece it together. But like, yeah, there's a lot of people out here that love Zombies so much more, and I kind of feel it, than maybe people working on the game right now, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, first of all, that video was really good. I remember watching it, like the shots that you got lined up were like,
thank you,
were like pretty much identical. Like
it's crazy.
Well, no, I mean your production work. That's what I'm talking about.
You.
Like you would get shots from the game and like you would match it. I don't know what you were doing to get it to do that, but it was really impressive.
I thank you. I appreciate that. I went out and shot first, and then I'd come back, and I had a few friends on my Discord that helped me out. So thank you to them for I'm like, here's the shots I got. If you can kind of match this up. They had better recording stuff than me at the time, because I've gone forever. I think just now I'm starting to get a handle on like recording gameplay and stuff, but you'll find that a lot of my videos actually just include the trailers or gameplay trailers for a lot of things. Gameplay's never really been my strongest suit. I used to try it back in the day too, but for some reason I've always just had problems with capture cards, and I'm on Xbox. So, you know, I edit on Mac. Everything's kind of just, you know, I'm having
oh my gosh.
change. I know, dude.
You got a lot of moving parts there. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of different file conversions and stuff like that afoot. So, but yeah, that was I had a couple other YouTubers who used to make Zombies in real life videos. I think they've been taken down since, but they had actually, because I saw they were live streaming, and they're still bigger than me, or were at the time too, and across the country. And then they're like, "Oh, we know who you are. Like, we've seen your videos." I'm like, "No way! I've been watching these people since I was a kid, like when Ascension came out, you know what I'm saying? Like around that time period." And it was, and they had actually met me out there at Alcatraz and like filmed with me. And that was just like, oh, I cannot believe that I'm awesome. Like getting this. And people at Alcatraz too, and we were walking by, I had the ray gun and the ray gun mark, I had the Hell's Retriever and the ray gun.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the people working there at Alcatraz are like, oh, that's so cool. Like, we haven't had anyone come here. Like, you know, we love when people come here for Mob of the Dead. Like, we would do a tour for Mob of the Dead if we could. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's cool. Like, there's so many different people all over the world that love Zombies just so much.
Yeah.
Like, for I attain it to so many things in my life. The way I just see creative stuff, the way I see music, photography, videography, like it all kind of spawned from color palettes of World at War, you know what I'm saying? Or like just all that stuff. The music, it's so much more inspiring, I think, than people let on.
It's the best art project of all time. Like it's so good. And now,
yes,
I don't want to be dismissive of the devs that are working there now, but there's parts of it that feel like it's just a job, and and that makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I agree. I think it'll change.
I know what goes up must come down, and what that means that there'll be another revival at some point. We just need to wait for it to kind of happen.
Hopefully we're all there for it.
I mean,
and it's still good right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still super hyped for even the news we got today. Like I'm on the couch just freaking out.
No, I'm still stoked. I just want that depth in the maps again.
Yeah,
like that's kind of like 100%. What I'm missing. They're like going into a DE or a Gorod or whatever. It's just like you feel this sense of immersion that was so.
Yes.
It was groundbreaking, and now it's all about just like the camo grind and the gameplay and the crafting table,
and it's almost too much about the story, I think.
In a way, I guess I kind of understand what you mean. Like it's definitely more surface level for sure.
Yeah, and they're also like, do the Easter egg, do the power, do all this stuff. And it's like, actually, I'm just here to survive rounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if someone shows me an Easter egg, cool. I love it. But sometimes when they just hit you in the face, like every match you're supposed to be doing the Easter egg, that's a little weird. It's not fun for me.
Yeah. You have to have the balance between the two, because I don't think everybody wants to do them. It kind of reminds me of sports a little bit. It's like, I don't want to play football, but I'll watch the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a reason that there's a lot of participation in that. And it's kind of reminds me of some of the old Easter egg live streams, like Blood of the Dead videos have millions of views. Like the cutscenes have millions and millions of views. But I have so many people coming to me like, oh, I've never done the Blood of the Dead Easter egg, but I know all about it.
Yeah.
It kind of has that same vibe.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. 100%. Yeah. Like I prefer not doing the Easter eggs and watching other people do it and find it, and then seeing the cutscenes. Like, there's some people for that love it. Great. But I feel like they're trying to decide, does everyone do this and want this, or does nobody want this? And they've almost lost that sweet spot to an extent.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Let's pop over to the wrap up and the lightning round. So I just like to ask these questions just to kind of get a sense of, certain things you like and certain things about the pulse of the community. So first question is, what zombies map do you dislike the most of all time?
Oh, you're going to hate me for this. Well, are we including Vanguard?
You can include whatever you want.
Okay, well, if it's including Vanguard, I'd say any of them. But I'm gonna stick to Infinite Warfare, including Burger Town, including all of that. I would say the worst, Shattered Veil. Okay, now, I don't want you to be mad at that one, right? I know that's a hot take. It's a hot take, but it's that sharp pain of like, why do a mansion again if it's not gonna be as good as Dead of the Night? It boggles my mind. It just, and I like, there's a lot of maps people don't like, right? Alpha Omega, Burger Town, Zetsubo no Shima, right? Are some of the popular choices, I would say. But I like all of those for their aesthetics. I think I like Burger Town the most in Advanced Warfare because of it just being a normal suburban shopping center at sunset, and you're in drain pipes underneath. Like, that's my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. But like, I'm not rating anything on gameplay, because that's just not kind of how I play zombies. Not rating on the Easter eggs, but I would say Shattered Veil. I don't know. I think areas of it are cool. Like the greenhouse is really cool with the checkered flooring. I'm a big fan of that, right? I think that started on Kino. But yeah, of recent memory, I think that's probably the one I'm least probably gonna play. Or actually, God, Reckoning maybe.
I think Reckoning is pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I would almost transfer that over to Reckoning. And it's it always takes me a while to really appreciate a map. Like I don't think I could truly appreciate it until it becomes an old map. But for a lot of those old ones, like even Ascension, which is just kind of weak, kind of just hits at home because it's a rocket facility, you know what I'm saying? And it was the first one, and it was cool how you turned on power and whatever. But even the simple maps, I love a lot. So it really has to rub me the wrong way. But because of those atmospherical downgrades, or just the atmosphere not being there for those new ones, kind of just put a bad taste in my mouth. Like I'll give it to Cold War. At least all the different maps are different color palettes. You know?
Kinda, yeah. Firebase Z, at least in parts of Forsaken, was. But I felt like the rest were still just like the way that they like. It's hard to explain because it's not a LUT necessarily like for a video.
Yeah.
It's more like the color correction of the environment itself, and
what are most the hues looking like,
and even D Machine versus Mauer Toten, like it's the same color correction. It's just like dark and light, you know, because if you go inside some parts of the bunker or go downstairs in the lab, like you could kind of
true
being in a
you'd be like,
Toten.
This is Die Machine.
Yeah. Or vice versa. Yeah. And
see the fact that I didn't even know like it's the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would say my least favorite of BO6 though of all the maps was Citadel. That it disappointed me. It disappointed me the most.
But it's also like, why do a freaking castle again if it's not going to be better than Dreisendracht? That's 2 times.
See, I feel that way about Citadel the way you feel about Shattered Veil. Because in my mind, Shattered Veil, it wasn't really about the mansion, whereas like Dead of the Night, it was.
True.
You know, and so Shattered Veil had like other areas that we were exploring. There's some overlap for sure. And I see your perspective, but I feel that way much more with Citadel, and I thought the Easter egg was lame. I thought the sword quests were really bad. I thought the story was underutilized.
I haven't gotten a sword since.
I thought they had all the ingredients there, and they just didn't go all the way with it. The best part's obviously the boss fight. But I don't get it, man. Like there's things that they do where I'm just like, I don't get why you even did this. If you didn't go all the way.
I 100% agree. And it's like, you know, what's with the Pack-a-Punch being so easily accessible in every map? You know, like where's turning on the power anymore? I know it's here in Ashes, and I hope it, you know, is in every single future map. But I also had a huge complaint, right, in Farm, and I want to get this across.
I saw this. I want everybody to hear it. So.
When you turn on the power and Farm, nothing happens. You turn the switch, like you remember back in the Giant, when you turn the power switch, even in the cutscene, and the lights flicker, and then the things turn on, electricity, you know, everything gets good. On Farm, it's non-existent. You turn on the power, nothing happens. All the lights in the barn and the house already on. So what's even the point of that? Besides, you know, turn on perks. I gotta let this cat out.
Well, there's 2 things. The first thing is like it is an older build, so maybe they just didn't have that. The other thing is like for the survival map, I could maybe see them not setting it up to where you need to have the power on. But on Ashes, because after I saw your video, or I think it was a video you said that in, right?
Yeah.
After I saw your video, I went and watched gameplay from Ashes of the Damned from like those creators. And there's nothing happens in there either.
Oh my god!
So
why?
I'm not sure. I mean, it could be because it's an old build. But
true,
it's a
and
good
I'm hoping because it's like you look at every single past Zombies map, even World at War in 2009. You turn on the power, it's because you're turning on the power. And if you're gonna put out an icon and tell us to turn on the power, I sure as well hope. If I turn on the power, I'm turning on the power. Like and it wouldn't help with the atmosphere, make everything else look dark and gloomy. It looks like they know that it's a good gameplay system. Like it makes you go and kind of explore an area and have to buy a door. but then have it do something. And it could be cool. They do something different every map as they have in the past, but to bring it back and not actually turn it on, like I edited one of my thumbnails so easily and just put glowing lights on there and it looks great. Like they can do that. It's not hard, I think. I don't want to speak for them. I don't know what it's like. I'm not trying to cast some shade on them,
No, I think there's some things that are like just easy or simple oversights. Like what's funny though is I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but when you turn on power in any of the classic games, it actually like tanks your frame rate because all these like assets are like coming on in your game. So it's like that's how I know like the power's not really coming on. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, you're like frames haven't dropped. This is interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, they can make it so like, and what's weird to me in Farm 2 is when you turn on the power, the window next to you gives you a perfect view of the house. It would be so cool if you turn on the power and then you see the lights flash through because now you're like, now the lights are on in the house. You get directed there. You go out the window. Again, it's just one of those things where it's like I was talking earlier with the Zetsubo no Shima Thunder as you're walking into the catacomb area. Things need to happen and you need to be set up at a certain spot for a lot of these maps and for a lot of the atmosphere to make sense. And I don't know if that's even a conversation there based on the power, not even turn it on.
This is what Milo says about the communication between departments because it's like there's Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Beanox, High Moon, and then the Raven, and then the one in China, Shanghai, and then there's one in like I can't remember some European country that does the cutscenes. It's like that's too much. That's too many people. Like, let's dial it back a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, just get some in-house. Got plenty of people here that would love to do it. Yeah. But right. But yeah, that does boggle my mind. There's a lot of things I think could be better treated too. It's like, loading screens for crying out loud. I've made more loading screens this year, custom loading screens, than Treyarch has in the past 5. When it's coming to comic book, you know what I'm saying? Like that is also something, another avenue of art that I believe fit perfectly with zombies. Give us a little something different and something to speculate about, to look at, to visualize. And that's just non-existent anymore. Now we have every single match, how to play it as if we've never played zombies before.
Well, with the multiplayer like map loading camera angles.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off so much, but
I know it's like, you know what? Have that be my game over screen. Have that be my game over screen. How it used, which it was for. It's like they reversed them. Now we get some like hands or something like that, and just eliminated. Give me a classic game over, and then replace that eliminated and make that into a cool looking loading screen. Like loading screen songs now aren't even a thing. Like I used to love that. Some of my favorites, Ascension. Shangri-La had a beautiful loading screen song. It's like I was the one on YouTube looking at loading screen song compilations for all zombies, or game over song compilation, or round start theme compilation. Like those are becoming sleeker, and you can't find. Like I was looking today to see if there was a game over song compilation from World at War to Black Ops 6. It ain't out there yet because there's just not as much hype for the game over songs because they, you can listen to them. It just seems like they're going a different direction. I know the audio team has it in them, but I don't know why it's not being used.
Yeah, the audio team is the best. They've been so good.
Oh yeah, 100%. They've been great. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I have some favorites. Oh my god, like I think it was the last song in The Reckoning. I forget what it's called, but it literally utilizes the round start theme and turns it into a heavy metal song. I love that. Yeah, the music was killer this year for sure. Yeah.
All right, so next question. I'm gonna merge a couple of it, kind of merge them together. But
gotcha.
Who outside of Treyarch, what zombies dev have you always preferred, and would you like them to take another crack at their version of whatever zombies is?
Yes, I actually have an answer. Lee Ross, and yes, I would love him to take another crack at it. Because I think he was one of those people who knew and felt what Good Zombies was and what it made map to map. And I think a lot of those maps were different art directions, which is my personal favorite feature, I think, of an encapsulating zombies game. Like, I want maps to be different. I think he did that maybe even the best because he also made sure that music was a part of that, and a bit differently. than music had ever been used before in zombies, right? You had a lot of James Brown, Iggy Pop, Blondie, and Shall Shuffle, and then you had Tainted Love and a lot of that stuff in Spaceland. But it's like that DLC season, I felt so cool because each map we're going from a zombies Spaceland in the 80s to a rave in the Redwoods in the 90s to New York in the 70s to like, you know, California in the 50s. I thought that, and then the attack on radioactive thing, however, probably wasn't one of my, you know, favorite maps. I don't think I played that one that much, but I love the color palette because it's like, this is colored like an old 50s movies would be colored. But I think, yeah, Lee Ross, because he's got that flavor to him. He knows, how to make different versions of the same thing, which is why I like Call of Duty. I like it that it's the same, but it's a different idea, a different spin each time. And I think he was able to condense that idea down to a zombie season that did it very well.
It's funny because Attack was in the daytime and it still felt like a zombies map.
Yep. 100%.
100%. It's wild. Just it's not about the daytime. That's what I try to keep always like zeroing in on. It's about the implementation of the environment inside of that.
You could say Call of the Dead, sorta. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? It was cloudy, so it could be evening. You know what I'm saying? But because it was blue, it was a little bit different.
Well, this is actually a good segue into the next question, which is my new favorite question, which is, do you think Der Eisendrache takes place at night?
Oh my God. Well, I get the guttural feeling that the moon is in the point in the sky and the castle is facing a geographical direction that matches up with I don't want to say a sunset, but like a midday moon. You know what I'm saying? When you can like see it in the sky and like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I think with where that castle is located on Earth and the way that it's facing, that has to be daytime.
See,
but I would say it's a night map. 100%. But again, done very well because it's blue.
Yeah, that's so funny, dude. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this, but I got roasted for this in one of my videos because I was talking about daytime maps and I used DE as an example, like on screen, and I got eviscerated. So I started thinking about it and I was like, I don't know. I just always kind of assumed it was like sunset, like but you're just in the mountains and the clouds are everywhere and you can see the moon in the day. It's like 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Then I can get with that. Yeah.
That's kind of how I've always felt. But like, you know, Terminus is like middle of the night, right? Dead of the night.
Terminus,
middle of the night.
Yes, exactly. It's dead of the night. And then, Terminus at night and Der Eisendrache, then yes, it is totally like, you know, moon's getting there, but it's not completely night yet. Just enough for it to blow up the moon, but
yeah.
You know.
Well, don't talk about it in your videos because you'll get torched. Just a pro tip.
Yeah, really? Damn.
It was a weird one. The community is weird like that. That's keeps you on your toes.
There is it really does. There are so many things that people have said. I'm like, well, okay, like I had not known that, or you know, correcting me on some stuff.
Which, dude, these are going perfectly. So this leads into the next question. What's your craziest or hottest take about Call of Duty Zombies overall?
Ooh, hottest take. I would say, I mean, now it's kind of the fact that I think Cold War is all better than Black Ops 6.
That's a good one.
Like, you know, because I think that one is kind of one that I wasn't feeling at the start of Black Ops 6. I'm like, Black Ops 6, of course it's going to be better than Cold War. But now I've been itching to go play Outbreak. I've been itching to go play Mauer and Firebase, like for some reason. And I think it may be just part to the atmosphere or how different those maps are to each other. When I put in the game, I have more options for a different vibe, different feeling. I can change the lights in my room to match the hue of the map, which I do often. I have a candle that I light for Ancient Evil. So when I play that one, it smells like it always smells when I play Ancient Evil.
Dude, but I'm sorry. Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes.
You are the most fascinating zombies player I've ever talked to in my life. You set up sites and smells and all sorts of weird shit. I fucking I love it, dude. It's hilarious.
It's Thank you. Well, I'm glad you understand. Yeah, I don't know anyone else who does this, but yeah, it's all about vibes.
I completely agree.
Yes, thank you. And I gotta say, I think Cold War had more vibes than BO6, and maybe just more different vibes. But I think that's a pretty hot take. I would also say Zetsubo being in my top 5 zombies maps of all time would also be a hot take.
You know what's funny about
as you can understand, I'm sure.
No, what's funny about the Zetsubo thing is I agree with you from like the atmosphere and the story and the journey it takes you on as a player, starting in that little pool, making your way up. Like I know exactly what you're talking about when you open those doors and you see the thunder and you grab the skull and you're like, you hear that little like, you know, that sound when you grab. I fucking love that sound.
That was good.
And you just kind of exploring, figuring out where to put stuff. It really feels like you're trapped in this puzzle. But I would say, like, in terms of its Easter egg and its boss fight and some of the gameplay stuff, it's like lower on my list. So it's kind of like depends on how I want to square it. But atmospherically, it's one of the best for sure.
I would say this is probably my most recent this year's hottest take, but Tomb best map in BO6. And that's not a lot of people's favorite. I've been watching all these rankings. Everyone's putting him down at the bottom. I'm like, that's crazy.
If I'm ranking BO6 how I feel today, I think it's Terminus is number 1, Shattered is number 2. What else is, and then I probably put Reckoning, Tomb, and then I feel like I'm missing something. Liberty Falls is last, but Citadel is probably almost last.
Yeah.
Citadel disappointed me so much. It really did.
I know, man. I know. Well, when we first got the first image, I remember the teaser like it was yesterday. They put out that image and I'm like, Castle, like, think of a different idea. Haunted hospital. A Civil War zombies map, or like something really different. But then the fact that in this season of maps we've had a castle and a mansion when we've had those before, and both of those have not lived up to the same aesthetic that zombies maps, I believe, are supposed to capture and exaggerate. Each map is meant to do that with some sort of location. And I just feel like they've forgot that that's the idea of what makes a map a good idea, is the fact that it's different than what that location would normally be like or what you would just see.
I want to crap on Citadel just a little bit more for a second.
Oh, please.
Do you know who Glitching Queen is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
Did you see her video about Citadel after it came out with the AI?
I don't believe I had. Oh, yes, I had with the AI graphic work. Yes. Which is like, holy how do they even?
Yeah, dude, that video also soured me. And like, listen, I know it's not like 100% confirmation, that they used AI. I'm not saying that, but what's funny is, and I've talked to other YouTubers about it, but inside Citadel, like when you're walking through and you're seeing the art, it's not interesting. And
True.
Everything feels kind of generic when you're pushing through the castle. Like the opening area, I really like when you open the doors and you kind of. I love looking up. I've talked about that a lot.
I think that's the best room in that map.
Yes, you look up and the ceiling's dilapidated and the stairs lead up to that dragon, the sword dragon or whatever. And it's very tight quarters, and the zombies are, if they're aggressive, you can go down in there pretty easily. But then you go into like the Knight's room, which is a pivotal part of the Easter egg, and I'm like,
yes,
how fucking boring is that place?
For
like,
real.
They don't use the nuke bomb. The chair does nothing. You can't really even train in that room that well. And I'm just and the artwork, and I'm just like, dude, it's so small and it feels underutilized.
Like,
it was a disappointment, I agree, man.
And I feel like even with Citadel and the mansion, it's like they didn't even, the mansion isn't the majority, or it could be, right? But it's not the main part of Shattered Vale. Neither is the castle for Citadel, because you have the town and everything. And it's just more like, okay, well, if you're going to include a castle, make it the castle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're going to do a mansion again, just make it the mansion. And play off that more. Like, the parts I think a lot of people like about Shattered Vale could have existed without the mansion even being there.
Yeah,
like
I
the
completely
part
agree.
underneath, So it's like, yeah, it's like, and again, it just goes back to, if you're going to do locations like that again, they better be better, which is hard to do, right? With Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 4 locations. But, it's just weird how that kind of just passed and they were able to kind of just do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, oh shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I remember. It's also interesting because I think modern mechanics, like we were talking about the speed of the gameplay and
Mhm.
having
Yeah.
accessibility to like all these different tools in the toolkit. I find that these systems work really well in Outbreak or even in large round-based maps like Terminus. And I think Ashes of the Damned is actually going to play really well with modern mechanics because you're
Yes.
in the truck, you're flying across the map. It's so freaking huge.
Yeah.
You're going to want to have all the toys in the
Yeah.
sandbox to play with. But my concern is like, okay, well, when we get a Liberty Falls size map or the Borealis Alamoris, I already forget what it's called.
Yeah. Right.
Santa Muerte.
Astra Malorum.
Astra Malorum. Yeah, when we get that, is it going to be tight quarters and like, is it just going to feel a little boring because of the mechanics? So it's just, there's just weird things with this era that I'm trying to sort out as a player.
It's like, I know that, Black Ops 6 was kind of them, and I kind of like how they did it sparingly, introducing elements from Call of Duty and like other aspects like the boats on Terminus, zip lines, Liberty Falls, which are pretty much on other maps too. But then you had the parachutes on Reckoning. Like, I like how if they're going to add something that big, maybe like the truck on Ashes, they're going to add it and then it may not be in the next map. Like, I hope we don't have a vehicle in every map in Black Ops 6. That would not be fun. But it's like, I think it'll be fun, and I think it'll mix, like you're saying, very well with the gameplay style. And we'll just have to, I guess, see how that style transfers to other survival maps. I think that'll be a good way to kind of gauge it. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how the other maps feel too, because I do feel like, Ashes is very open. All the maps in Black Ops 6 I felt were a little too open for my liking. I wasn't really getting cornered. I wasn't getting.
I agree.
Maybe I'll go down a different hallway now. I could usually juke anything. Got that skill. But yeah, I'm hoping that they make things a bit tighter for Black Ops 7.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, last wrap up before we get to the lightning round. I know we've been taking our time through these, but do you cover any other games? Do you play any other games? Do you have other channels?
So I really don't play any other game. First of all, I don't really play a lot of video games. I'm kind of just into zombies, like which is weird too. I grew up on like the Lego games. Like I'll play Skate, here and there, or well, that's really it. I'll just cycle through all the old Call of Duties, when I'm feeling it. When the weather comes out, it's fall time, so that's why I have Ghost out right now, and I'll probably put in Infinite Warfare. During the release season, I got to go through all of them, get that feeling. But I am very interested and will be covering GTA 6 in a very different way. Like I do my zombies videos, but I've actually done some demos where, everything is just GTA style. Instead of round-based videos, I have wanted stars that pop up. Instead of throwing, Ethereum crystals and doing perks, I have cash that I throw, and then it's a different thing. I have cop lights instead of I used to have thunder and lightning. So, and then the soundtrack will be different as well. I have remixes for GTA songs. Then I have someone here who's helping me out as well in Houston for the soundtrack for those videos, because I want to also include that. It's kind of just brought up, but I think I'm going to transpire some of that energy over to GTA as well. I will never stop doing zombies videos because that's just what I love. Like, I love zombies more than video games, but I've had a lot of interest about GTA videos too, with the same kind of similar style and setup, because I don't think that's being done over there either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, I like that. I think that's a good answer. Hopefully GTA 6 is good. Hopefully,
dude, it could come out and suck. Like it could just be bad.
I know.
Always think about that.
I don't think it will, to be honest. I've heard that because people are all, like, oh, modern gaming is all trash. And I'm like, dude, I don't know about that. Like there's so many games. It's easy to fall into the idea that things fail, because there's a lot of things that do fail, but there's a lot of great games out there too. So it's
true that. Yeah. 100%. 100%. I agree. Like Skate that just came out, like I'm having fun on that. I think I actually did film a Skate video, but I have not posted it. I think I just kind of scrapped it because I'm like, oh well, maybe I'll feel it out a little bit more. It wasn't negative or anything. I just didn't feel like I was almost warranted enough to be able to create on that, which I think is something a lot of us creators go through. Like we think we don't have enough cred, like street cred, to be able to talk about other things. And it's also a dangerous move. I have a zombies channel. It's pretty evident that it's just zombies, and it will kind of just stay like that, even if I do other videos. But I think that's very interesting too, from a creative perspective, to kind of see, oh, will people like this if I do it, or do they even like it, or is it worth like?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that I think if you're transparent and you're like, this is my first Skate game or my first Hollow Knight or my first whatever.
Yeah.
But
I like Skate 2 a lot.
The one thing that I've learned from just like playing games more recently and trying to cover them is I can really notice the overlap in mechanics, but I also hone in on what I like, which is art direction, storytelling, because a lot of games have similar, like I said, similar mechanics. Like God of War has a system that's like kind of in Spider-Man where you're like holding down L1 and then pressing like one of the buttons on your PlayStation controller to activate some super move. And they have variations of all of that. It's third person. Resident Evil has similarities to even like The Last of Us, where you're hoarding resources and like, but they have different. What gets me going is like the differences of implementation, like how in The Last of Us, it's very violent and aggressive and the story is really good. But in Resident Evil, it's more about the horror aspect. So the mechanics are like, they're important for sure, but I care about so much of the other stuff around it, what it's bedded in, because that's what keeps me in the environment. That's what keeps me in the atmosphere.
100%. No, I agree with that.
Okay, now we're going to go into the lightning round, and it's I would prefer if we answer them fast, just because it's fun to hear gut reactions. But I mean, it's a podcast.
Okay,
so
I got you.
We can do whatever the hell we want. All right. So the first question is, what's the most overrated zombies map of all time?
Shadowvale.
Just really hitting on the Shadowvale.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is, dog. I don't know.
You think it's the most overrated map, like more overrated than like Origins, or like something like that?
Origins is great.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
I was just using
I'd
it as
say,
an example.
Yeah. Okay, I would say Voyage of Despair.
Okay, that's an interesting one.
I love the Titanic. I am very fascinated with the history of the ship, the movie, whatever. I love the Titanic. When I heard that was coming out, that was great. But I think it's overrated.
Interesting. That's an interesting one. What about underrated?
Underrated, I would say Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead. I think people don't go back and play that one too often. I just have so many great memories of, you'd be on the ship and you'd see that glowing blue light come up and you'd hear George and you'd be terrified. Like, I like that.
I think Call of the Dead is S tier. I think Voyage is also great though too.
I think Voyage is a very good, but I think it's
all right. Perk limit versus no perk limit.
I am down for perk limit. I'm down for perk limit, but I don't want, I want perks to be completely different per map.
Okay.
I would like if I only had Deadshot, Who's Who, and Vulture Aid and Double Tap for one map. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be cool if I'd have access to those. But I think perk limit is necessary. Yeah.
I do too. I think now the way that games or Modern Zombies is designed, it's like it can't be that. But
yeah, it can't. I have too much fun with all the perks. I'm a big girl. But if it did play how it used to, I was a fan of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the perk limit. It makes things scarce. And I want things to matter.
Yeah.
Okay, shield or armor?
Shield for sure. Was cool finding the parts. I like that was a different thing that changed per map. They look different, and it had to do with just kind of survival, the basics of survival. And I think armor, the fact that it's same every single map, it's not even fun, and it reminds me of Warzone, is stupid.
Would you like it if armor had like a reskin and maybe on I don't know. There was like ice armor on some map or fire
I
armor.
would
Like,
I would like that, but then again, I just think get it the hell out of there. We don't even need it. You know, like I would rather not have it on my screen and not even get armor and just take the L if I had to than put it
yeah,
on.
it is pretty annoying.
Yeah. hmm
What about loadouts versus pistol?
Pistol for show. Loadouts, insanely stupid. Well, I think it just goes back to the what is zombies? It's survival, and you're starting out with not a lot. Good luck, soldier. You're on your way. You know, if you want more weapons, you got to kill zombies. And I think that I missed when it was a cool thing that, oh, we're getting a Mauser or a Bloodhound as our starting pistol. It's
Yeah.
a pistol, but it's different. It could fit the map a little bit more. It would even work now if they're trying to add stuff for DLC seasons like pistols and stuff. Make it a different starting pistol. But no, the loadouts, it does not give you that we're out here and we have to survive feeling. It's like we're out here and we're prepared. Not fun at all.
I agree. That was a good way to
Yeah.
explain it.
Thank
All
you.
right. So I know we don't have many options left unless you have something up your sleeve, but what kind of perks would you like to see come back or come to BO7?
Ooh, banana colada. Nah. I would say electric cherry for sure. Because I think that's just like that was kind of a slept on perk. And it's cool to just have. It's cool to have, and I like when they update the electric effects.
They have the augment on
Oh yeah.
elemental pop, but it's not nearly as OP as it was back in the
Yeah,
day.
and it's like give me the machine back, you know what I'm saying? Give me a new little can. Like I like the jingle, like I like stuff like that. I would prefer if they just maybe have that on a map as a machine instead of stamina up or something, and then you have to wait for, Wonder Fizz to come in. But yeah, I know that the augments take care of some of those other perks too. Like I feel like Who's Who isn't even like an option. Dying Wish, maybe? That's an interesting choice, I feel like. That's like one of the only ones I use on BO4.
I think that one's they changed it a little bit, but it's in Quick Revive now on BO6 or in BO7. So okay, so let me give you some hints. So what we don't have is I don't think we have Tombstone. We don't have Mule Kick. We don't have Winter's Wail or Widow's Wine.
Widow's Wine, yeah.
And
I think Widow's Wine is coming back.
We don't have like a Stone Cold Stronghold type perk. And then I think
Widow's Wine is definitely coming back. Not only because I believe it was recent in the leaks that it was found in the files, but I know during Modern Warfare Z's life cycle, they had the T-shirt with the new logo, and it's like, well, why would they even do that? So I think Widow's Wine's totally coming back as I'd want it to. And I think other than that, I would be a fan of Mule Kick. I think people have just been wanting it. It should have just been there. You know what I'm saying? But I think Mule Kick is fine. If I could hold 2 ray guns at once, that'd be great. But as far as I know, right, you can't hold 2 ray weapons at once.
Yeah, I think that's a little silly.
For no reason. Yeah.
It's funny because I kind of hated Mule Kick in the old games. I hated cycling between the 3 weapons, but because of the camo grind and because of like how fast you burn through ammo in the newer games, I kind of want Mule Kick again.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that. I think it would just mix well even more with this playstyle than it would maybe even the old one. I don't know. But
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what about your favorite consumable system? And this is like Gobblegum's Fate and Fortune cards, BO6 Gobblegum versus BO3 Elixirs, the World War II ones, which suck ass, so I hope you don't pick that one. But
yeah, for real. I don't even remember those at all, to be honest with you. I would say
they're so bad.
I think, the coolest looking, I would say, would be Fate and Fortune cards. I like the machine, and I like that they're literal like playing cards, and that's kind of sick. I haven't really utilized any of those systems. I didn't use Gobblegums on BO3, didn't use Fate and Fortune cards, haven't used really that much Gobblegums. Like if I'm doing an Easter egg, of course I'll use like Perkaholic or something. But haven't really used those consumable systems. Like haven't really been a fan. I think the Gobblegum machine looked coolest on Shadows and the BO3 maps. I think it should have been just for shadows. I think when the trailer came out, I'm like, oh, this is the thing just for this map because it matches the aesthetic. And then they just carried it with it. But yeah, I haven't really been a fan of those and haven't really used them. I don't use them if I go back and play BO3 or anything like that. But I think the coolest looking has probably been Fate and Fortune. Like if I were to have something like that in real life, I would totally take a deck of Fate and Fortune cards.
Yeah, they are cool. They are definitely cool. I like elixirs. I mean, I think Gobblegums and BO3 are the best system that has been concocted. But I think elixirs just are cool. Like they have that really cool looking bottle, and I don't know.
True.
I did like
I could hear it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can hear like the liquid as they're drinking it. Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, 2 more questions and then I'll let you get out of here. Should open world zombies come back?
I believe now in a perfect world where it doesn't interfere with round-based zombies maps and releases in atmosphere, sure, that'd be awesome. But quite frankly, I think it does interfere with the process of that. I liked so far, like if we got another year and it was an Infinity War game and we got another MWZ, I think it'd be great. And that'd hold me for a whole season. I actually had a lot of fun with that. But yeah, that's a toughie.
Did you like Outbreak?
I did. I think I may have liked Outbreak a little bit. I think I've played that one more. I think I did like Outbreak more. I think that they could definitely tweak some things about it, like map to map. And it was kind of just the multiplayer maps. Yeah, but it's like, how do you even do aesthetics at that point? Like, it's really just not about that, I think. And I think it'd probably be impossible.
I agree, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not my problem. Like, they're the ones selling the game, and they're the ones that have built up this aesthetic in this world, and it's like, oh, well, we have like 10 multiplayer maps that we didn't use for our Warzone or Blackout 2 or whatever they want to call it. Like, we're going to just reskin it and put zombies. It's like, how about you don't do that?
Go the extra mile. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think MWZ was atmospherically done way better, of course, than Outbreak. And I kind of like the process of even the sky kind of does change a little bit, or at least a LUT or something like that does. Yeah. As you go into the tiers, and I think that's cool. There's a lot of points on MWZ that I'll just kind of stand there and look out for a second, and I'm like, that just looks great.
They had the right idea with MWZ. It was just the lack of support, and
exactly
there's some other stuff that bothered me, but we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, man, this is my favorite question.
All right,
and the final question: you have to eliminate an era from zombies. You have to pick one to eliminate entirely. So you can choose from Zelensky, Blundell, or Kevin Drew's era, but you have to wipe one from the face of the earth. Which one are you doing?
Zelensky, Blundell, Kevin Drew. Okay. Well, I don't want to I think we probably have the same answer, okay? And I think a lot of us watching probably do as well. And it's no shade, and I think, like I said, things are moving in a good direction. But it would have to be the newest version, so I guess Kevin Drew. And it's not like it's Kevin Drew,
I know. It's
but
just
it's
yeah.
Of course. But yeah, I think it would have to be. I think if we just went back a few years and kind of, said, hold up now, and just kind of locked onto what zombies really is, I think things could have been a little different. Well,
it's funny because I actually used to disagree with you. I used to pick Zelensky.
Really? What?
Yeah, well, I didn't play BO1 and BO2 during their life cycle, so my attachment towards it is not the same. But after recently going back and playing everything for a tier list video that I totally also got roasted on, I realized like how much I love Moon, and just how like I think Ascension's fantastic. Kino's obviously great. I don't like Call of the Dead's S tier. Like I don't like Shang in particularly, but I think the atmosphere is really great.
Yeah, the monkeys and stuff.
5 pisses me off, but it's still cool. And then BO2, I think BO2 is probably my least favorite game, but the Blundell maps in that game are so strong. that
Yeah.
it's so that's why I used to say Zelensky, because like World at War was getting the ground running. But BO1 is so fucking good. BO1
Yes.
is
And
top
it's like
tier.
and it's like, you'll think about how many zombies maps we've had, and then you'll think that, okay, well, it was Noct, Verruct, Shino, Numa, Darius, Kino, 5, Ascension. So by this 5, 6, by the 8th map, we've already had a celebrity cast. Like, that's freaking sick. Like, they really kind of knew what it was and realized that they could take that creative freedom already at that point in Black Ops 1. And I think that's very cool to kind of see.
I agree. And I don't know, Black Ops 2, funnily enough, like I'm not a big fan of the engine either. I know it feels like
I think Black Ops 1 looks better.
I agree. I also think it feels better. I know this is going to sound obvious to say, but Black Ops 2 feels like a hybrid of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, which is like, no shit, idiot. But it doesn't feel as smooth as BO3 and it doesn't feel as tight as BO1. And I don't know. I know no one's going to agree with me, and that
makes a lot of sense though. No, it does. It does.
But the transit,
I'll agree with you.
Thank you. Finally, somebody has my back in this damn community. No,
for real.
Transit is rough. Bus Depot in like I like the survival maps. Like they're good, but I'm not like itching to play them. And then Die Rise, and what's the other one?
Buried.
I'm not a big Buried guy. Just don't really care.
I like the aesthetic a lot. The fact that they're cowboy zombies kind of sick. I know we're getting that in Ashes, which is great too. But
I see. That's the thing. I'm not a Western fan, so like it just none of it really appeals to me. And it is what it is. Like I'm not gonna sit here and I don't hate it, but it's just Origins and Mob of the Dead are just like the showstoppers in my opinion. And
exactly. Mob of the Dead, everything changed.
Yeah,
in a good way.
No, for sure. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up here?
I think we pretty much just about covered everything. A lot of good stuff, man.
Dude,
100%.
I think. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was gonna say if there's anything else you wanted to add.
I just want to say this was one of my favorite podcasts because I didn't really know how much you liked Atmosphere, and like every video I make, there's like a 20-minute, 30-minute section of like main quest and atmosphere and story. Like it's just, that's why I like zombies. And so I think a lot of people are like, I talk to a lot of people now and I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but they're like, oh, I just like the gameplay, or, oh, I just like the main quest, or, oh, I just like this. Or it's just like one part. And I'm like, but it's like an aggregate. Like it's all of it together. And I just don't get when people don't get the atmospheric part, because that's like what I'll never forget loading into Noct at the first time. It like blew my fucking mind, or loading into Shadows and hearing him say like, oh, you bear the mark, you're cursed. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening, bro?
I love it. Yes, exactly. I'm glad that we could share that similar opinion, most definitely. Cause I know it's not the most prevalent in the community, especially,
it ought to
be. Everything now, I feel like, yeah. Oh, for real.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. If you want to shout out your channel real quick, you can go ahead and do that.
Yes. Beware the 6. Beware the 6. Like Kino they're toting. Kino said, beware of the 6 on the wall to warn about dog rounds, but beware the 6. You gotta subscribe. Come on now. What are you even doing? You know what I'm saying?
Go over and subscribe to him, and he makes great content, and hopefully he'll be continually make videos out throughout BO7. And I appreciate you guys all for watching. We had a 2-hour episode today, so you can get off my ass about not uploading for a while. I'm just kidding, everybody. But I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.